Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good day, champions. This slide is a reminder that you are part of the elite program in the National Science and Mathematics Olympiad, NSMO, Advanced Towards Excellence. We are currently focusing on the biology competition in phase 1. Concentrate on mastering the details, as gifted individuals are the ones who connect the dots. We're still in chapter 5, Human Body System, presented by Muhammad Al-Ali. We are concluding this important chapter. Look at the table of contents. We have completed all previous systems, and our focus today is on the immune and lymphatic systems, so stay tuned. This is our 7th and final lecture in this chapter. We will study how our body defends itself against foreign substances and diseases. Our goals are clearly defined. We will cover the functions of the lymphatic system, structure of the lymphatic system, comparison between innate immunity and adaptive immunity, and comparison between passive immunity and active immunity. First, let's talk about function of the lymphatic system. The first function is recognize any foreign substance that enters the body and bypasses the defense lines. So this is the first one. Check. The second one, it would attack using receptors and responsive organs. So it's mean it attacks this substance using receptors and responsive organs. Okay, and this also, let's do a check. This is the functions of the lymphatic system. After we have done with the functions of the lymphatic system, now we will talk about structure of the lymphatic system. And we will have the first things inside the lymphatic system is the lymph. The lymph is clear fluid that carries immune cells and waste materials throughout the body. So this is lymph. Second one is lymphatic vessels. These are tubes that transport lymph just like veins transport blood. So this is lymphatic vessels. Move on to lymphoid tissue. So it consists of immune cells grouped in certain area to support defense system. Okay, and lymphocytes, these are the main immune soldiers that detect and attack pathogens. Okay, last one is lymphatic organs. Organs like the spleen, lymph nodes, and thymus produce and train immune cells. So, the lymphatic system is complete internal protection network. I would like you to watch the video that explains the structure of the lymphatic system and how it works inside the body. Watching the animation will help you visualize the lymphatic pathways and better understand its defenses rules. Let's watch it together.
Lymphatic vessels, also called lymphatics, carry a watery fluid known as lymph from body tissues. Filter lymph through packets of lymphoid tissue called lymph nodes and return it to the bloodstream through a series of larger vessels.
Now that we have completed the functions and structure of the lymphatic system, we will move to a very important topic, the type of immunity in the human body. And let's start with non-specific innate immunity. So, non-specific immunity is the type of immunity we are born with, and it works generally against any foreign agent without identifying a specific one. and it responds for body's first line of defense, but is less priceless than adaptive immunity. So the innate immunity, for example, skin, a physical barrier preventing pathogens, and also tears and mucus, chemical barriers trapping and destroying microorganisms. Think about that. If non-specific immunity does not identify specific pathogens, how does the body respond more strongly when the same diseases attacks again? That leads us to adaptive immunity or specific immunity. So, it's the immunity developed after exposure to a pathogen, and it responds slowly the first time, but it is very precise and targets specific pathogens. It has memory if the same pathogens return, and the response is faster and stronger. And let's have a comparison between both the innate and adaptive. Okay, let's fill the table. Response speed in innate is fast, and it's in adaptive slow first time. It will be slow at first time. Specificity in innate, it's non-specific, but in adaptive, it's highly specific. Memory in innate, no memory, but in adaptive, yes, there is a memory. From birth, in innate, yes, from birth, but in adaptive, no. It is developed after exposure. So this is the comparison between them. And think about this question also. What do you need both types of immunity? Why do we need both types of immunity? Why isn't innate immunity alone enough? Why? Let's move on to a comparison between passive immunity and active immunity. Why this title describe this diagram? Because it explains the process of how the body forms immunity, which is active, and compares it to immunity that the body receives without forming it, and this passive. And also inside this diagram, we will see active immunity, body produce antibodies, memory cells created, long-term protections, and occurs after infections or vaccination. This is active immunity. In passive immunity, we will see body receives antibodies, non-memory cells created, temporary protection, and examples mother and baby interim. So, why is titled with comparison? Because the purpose of the slide is not only to show how immunity works, no, but to compare two different paths of gaining immunity in the body. Okay, so let's illustrate the diagram step by step. First step is recognition. So it's while a blood cell recognizes the pathogen and surrounded it, it sends signals to activate T cell. That's the first step. Move on to second step, that one, mobilization. So helper T cell signal the B cells to start producing antibodies. Moving to step number 3, which is disposal. So the antibodies attach to the pathogen and help destroy or neutralize it. The last one here, it's immunity. So some B cells become memory cells, which stay in the body for future protection. Do you get it now? So your immunity system learns from each battle, so it gets faster and stronger next time. Let's have this exercise. Read the following scenario, then identify the substance that cause allergies and their source. A bowl containing peanuts is placed on the kitchen table. During the spring season, the air carries small particles or pollen from outside into the kitchen. Meanwhile, the cat roams around the kitchen and sleeps on a pillow in the corner. So, if you are allergic to peanuts, a bowl of peanuts on the kitchen table can trigger allergy symptoms just by touching or smell it. Also, during spring, the wind carries pollen inside the house, which may cause sneezing and itching for people with seasonal allergies. Also, when the cat walks around the kitchen or sleeps on the pillow, its fur spreads in the air and may trigger allergy in people sensitive to animals. So all that is possible. Let's move on to another exercise. What results from a severe allergic reactions, anaphylactic shock in humans? Is it unconsciousness coma or arthritis or fever and chills or difficulty in breathing? So let's analyze the options. First one, unconsciousness coma. Why that one? It would be wrong or incorrect because loss of consciousness can happen, but it is usually a late and less immediate symptom, not from allergic. So this is wrong. The other one, arthritis, is joint inflammation and is not related to allergic shock. So that would be also wrong. Going to fever and chills. Fever and chills are more linked to infection, not anaphylactic shock. Okay, so this one also wrong. Last one, difficulty in breathing. So that one is the correct answer. Because why? Because severe allergic reaction causes throat swelling and airway narrowing, leading to difficulty in breathing, which is the most dangerous sign. It's really, really dangerous. So the right answer is D, difficulty in breathing. Okay? So always remember, the most dangerous result of severe allergy is a breathing difficulty because it prevents oxygen from reaching the body. Let's also have another exercise. While you are studying and flipping books pages, an injury happened to your finger. What is the response that will eventually happen? Is it that the affected cells secrete histamine, or the sebaceous glands in the skin inhibits the entry of bacteria, or macrophage engulf bacteria, or the number of white blood cells increase? Let's eliminate the options and analyze them also. Okay, the first one, the affected cells secrete histamine. Why this one is wrong, incorrect? Because histamine release happens, but it is not an earlier response in inflammatory, not the final eventually response. Because of that, this would be wrong. Okay, what about B? The sebaceous glands in the skin inhibit the entry of bacteria. Sebaceous gland protect by oil secretion, but this is a natural barrier before the injury, not a reaction after the injury. So this one would be also wrong. Okay. Move on to C. Macrophages engulf bacteria. Macrophages do engulf bacteria. However, this is localized early defense, not the final overall body response. So that would be also wrong. Okay. The last option we have D. The number of white blood cells increase. Why this one is right? Why? Because after injury, the body increases white blood cells protection to fight infection. This is eventually systemic response. Okay, so that's why. And also, yes, I forgot that one. Helper T cells are activated. And also that one is right. Why it's right? Because helper T cells activations happens mainly in specific immunity, not typically the immediate response to a small finger cut. So D is right, and E, it's not right. Yes, it's wrong. You are correct. Why E is not right is incorrect because again, helper T cell activation happens mainly in specific immunity, not typically the immediate response to small finger cut. So now you know why it's incorrect. So the right answer, it's D, the number of white blood cells increase. So the body reacts to small injuries by increasing white blood cells to prevent infections. Don't forget that. This is the summary of our seventh and final lessons. We covered functions of the lymphatic system, structure of the lymphatic system, comparison between innate immunity and adaptive immunity, comparison between passive immunity and active immunity. Thank you, distinguished students, for your effort and focus in concluding Chapter 5. Thank you again. See you soon. So long.